Step 2. Using the EMDR treatment. Seeing your truth for yourself. So let's go back to you. Something happened to you in your life. Something that caused your image to change. Something happened that caused you to see yourself differently. It could have been when someone told you that you were too fat, too skinny, or that you were ugly or funny looking. They may have told you that you had a big nose or a big head, or that your lips were too big, or that you had freckles on your face, or anything like that. And if you analyzed and accepted, your life has now become a self-fulfilling prophecy, and this is what caused your self-image to change, what caused you to see yourself differently. Using the EMDR treatment. And so I want you to think back to a time when that happened to you. And we're going to use Dr. Shapiro's technique called eye movement desensitization and reprocessing to locate that memory. Identify who helped fashion and shape it so that we can begin to process it and change it. The way her technique works is based on how our brains naturally work. She actually discovered this while she was sitting on a park bench having her lunch. She noticed that she was having some negative emotion, some feeling of the past or event that happened to her. And as she was sitting there, she noticed that her eyes began to move back and forth in a rapid manner. And the more she thought about the event, the more the negative emotional charge and the emotional connections began to dissipate. So she said to herself, what if I deliberately start to make those eye movements while focusing on other negative and disturbing events in my past? Will the negative charge of those events dissipate as well? And so she began experimenting with other people to see if this process really works. What Dr. Shapiro discovered was how the brain naturally organizes, retrieves, and sorts data. So what happens when we sleep? Our brains go through different wave states. It goes through alpha, theta, beta, delta, and gamma wave states. And when we sleep, our brain uses what is known as reticular activating systems to sift through all of the millions of bits and pieces of the data and information that we have allowed to come into our minds through our five senses. So, when the brain enters into delta wave states, we know it as deep REM sleep. The reticular activating system is organizing, sorting, and retrieving data and information that is relevant to us, and it keeps the information that is important and it gets rid of the rest. While we are sleeping in that deep REM state, our eyes are moving rapidly back and forth naturally. This is an indicator that the brain is organizing, retrieving, and sorting the data that we need. So what Dr. Shapiro discovered was that you don't have to wait to enter into this deep REM state, that you can enter the state while you're consciously awake just by moving your eyes in the same rapid motion back and forth as if you were in that delta state while focusing on the negative emotions and events of the past. Your brain will still bring that information to the forefront of your conscious mind so that you can process and deal with it.